The key principles of triage are contained within the acronym itself. Target, respond, identify, administer, globalize, exit. A target area is one where conflicts between short-term local interests and long-term institutional needs transform the locality into a disputed territory. A disputed territory is characterized by a breakdown in respect for sound finance and self-discipline. Discipline, therefore, must come from the outside. However, these can be sensitive matters, and a target must only be designated where the wider community is threatened. Respond. A swift response is vital to arrest the situation. Trained, caring professionals must be placed on the ground and allowed to do their job. Identify. The source of the contagion must be identified, assessed, and excised. Administer. Treatment must be administered. Because needs will always exceed available resources, tough decisions will have to be made. The advantage of a mobile, experienced task force is that they will have made these same decisions many times before. Globalize. While this term has come to be seen in an increasingly unfair light, it is a vital part of the process. We prefer to think of it as a holistic measure. Only by harmonizing with the external environment can the stricken return to the wider community. Exit. No part of the triage process requires it to stay longer than necessary. However, it can be hard to predict how long treatment will take. Only when no further treatment is required can we, with all conscience, leave.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Sunday, January 23rd, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome everyone to this economic news bulletin. It'll probably take me about 2 videos to bust these out. Plenty of good news, informative news to cover today. I know, there'll be football going on today. I'll be partaking in that with my mom, chilling with her at the AMVETS post, watching the Bears. So if you do get a chance to check these out, please do. All the links will be posted, and I usually ask my new listeners and even my old loyal listeners to check out my website from time to time. It's www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Okay, we're going to start with this Bloomberg. And it's not really an article, it's just basically raw data. And I'm not going to go through every single thing, but obviously, but I will go through a few things, so you're, like I said, you're somewhat informed. This is all the energy trading that was going on, and you have Brent crude up $1.20, and you go down to heating oil, and that was up $2.76. And we'll go down to agriculture because it's important. This is the food that we eat. Cocoa was way up, $20. Coffee was up $8. Corn up $3. Cotton $4. Look at this. Wheat futures $21. And we'll move down. Lumber's up $10, and then we'll move to the precious metals. And look at what I was telling you guys. Copper. That's what you need to eye. $3.70. It's up. Basically, it's because of the supply. Gold 100-ounce futures were down $5.50, and silver down. And there's the cattle and that. And we were down here, but yeah, I mean, the lower prices for the meats, obviously I guess it's good for us. But Treasury 10-year yields rise by most in 6 weeks on prospects for growth. This is from the 21st from Bloomberg. It says Treasuries fell, pushing up 10-year note yields the most in 6 weeks as economic reports in the U.S. and Europe bolstered speculation the global recovery, I call it restructuring, is building momentum and damped government debt's refuge appeal. Anyways, Reuters, euro hits 2-month high versus dollar, stocks gain. It says here the euro hit a 2-month high above $1.36 on Friday on hopes the eurozone will find a durable solutions for its debt crisis, while world stocks gained as robust GE earnings foreshadowed a stronger U.S. economy. And moving on here to gold again. Gold notches third weekly loss as safe haven wanes. Gold prices fell for a second day on Friday as a stronger appetite for riskier assets such as equities and improving economic outlook diminished safe haven buying, more than offsetting a weaker dollar. And you guys are stupid. That's all I gotta say. But then again, I'm a crazy, whacked out extremist conspiracy theorist who believes that monetary policy as far as our currency should be backed by something intrinsic that has intrinsic value, not just digital currency numbers on a computer screen. But hey, that's why we're in the problems that we are in. But let's blame it on the government, and let's blame it on irresponsible homeowners for this. It says here tight stocks prompt heavy speculative buying in corn and soy. Large speculators boosted their net long positions in the Chicago Board of Trade corn and soybean futures and options after the U.S. government forecast tight supplies of both commodities, according to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission data issued on Friday. The bar set high as stocks face pullback, and again, this is from Reuters. It says here the much anticipated pullback is finally underway. Some investors say after a mid-week wobble, but the market is showing it still has some juice left if earnings can meet towering expectations. Commodities, there you go, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and surge. It says coffee, cotton, and cocoa barrel towards highs fueled by concerns of a shortfall in global supplies. While these commodities historically have been volatile, this latest price surge is a signal that fundamental factors are moving towards the forefront. Torrential rain in Colombia and an unstable political situation in the Ivory Coast are casting a shadow over the availability of supply of coffee, cocoa, respectively, while demand continues to increase. Commodities prices are hitting your wallet. It's getting pricier to throw some ribs and burgers on the grill, and you can blame that on the surging price of corn. Oh no, you can blame that on your representatives who just passed the ethanol bill, who's going to increase it from 10% and above. So that's all wasted food that can be going in your bellies, even though it doesn't have much nutrition because it's not the old original corn. It's that yellow corn. But either way, it could be filling your bellies, making you feel full, and but you can't because it's going to be more expensive because we have to use it for fuel. And it says that's because much of the corn grown in the U.S. is used in animal feed. Okay, so that's the other thing, animal feed. All right, and we're using $6 corn to feed hogs right now. So it's not only that; it's also, of course, for animal feed, which I guess is not all that healthy either. But either way, Mexico attempted to shift from tortillas to ethanol. So there you go. January 22nd, 2011, farmers' protests and the rise in corn tortilla prices in late December put temporary brakes on the Mexican Senate, which was preparing to lift a national ban on utilizing maize to fuel corn, to make fuel alcohol or ethanol. And let's see if it says anything down here, and it says the quote, the province remains through dormant because there are very many interests, companies in the United States, Colombia, and Brazil. So, but says the insufficient national maize production was one of the reasons for the 2008 authorization to cultivate genetically modified maize in Mexico, the cradle of this millennia-old grain. So you can see the food's being wasted, and what is the solution to create genetically modified replacements, right? EPA approves more ethanol and fuel for cars. So there we go. The EPA has approved higher levels of corn-based ethanol to fuel all cars manufactured in the last decade. The agency announced Friday that 15% ethanol blended with gasoline is safe for cars. Well, no, it's not, because I'm not going to put the shit in there if I can avoid it, right? I don't want it in my car. I don't want it going through my fuel injection system. And it says for cars and light-duty trucks manufactured between 01 and 06. And I don't have one of those. I don't have anything that year. I got like a 90s car. Yeah, rolling in the 90s with my Chevy Lumina. In October, the EPA approved the same mix for vehicles manufactured since 2007. The maximum gasoline blend has been 10% ethanol. Ethanol is popular in farm country because most of it comes from corn and other grains. It faces strong opposition, however, from the auto industry, environmentalists, cattle ranchers, food companies, and broad coalition of other groups. Those groups say ethanol used to make animal feed more expensive. So there you go. Raises prices at the grocery store and tears up the land. So WTO, the World Trade Organization, urges alternatives to food export curbs. So they want to, let's see, export restrictions, major factor in food crisis. So it has nothing to do with, I know it has to do with natural disasters and everything, but it also has to do with actual inflation. And right, and what is the result of the inflation is the rise is the prices. And so this article is going to try to tell you that, you know, that the Russians have stopped banning or putting restrictions on the export of wheat because, well, they're looking out for themselves, which is what they should be doing, right? I'm sorry, I mean, I hate to say that, but that's how it should be. I mean, Russia should look out for Russia, the U.S. should look out for the U.S., and we're not living in a hunky-dory utopia here. We're talking about people that are going to be starving and representatives who are going to have to answer to their, quote, constituents, right? As if that really happens, but they're going to have to answer to these starving people when there's riots on the streets because, well, you know, they didn't restrict the amount of food that they were exporting and not taking care of their own country. So you can go here and read this, and you can see that it's saying exactly what I just said. So I just summed it up for you. Quantitative easing is causing food prices to skyrocket. So many different theories here, but as I previously noted, interest rates have risen both times after the Fed implemented quantitative easing. Graham Summers points out that food prices have also skyrocketed both times. He said, in case you missed it, food riots are spreading throughout the developing world already. Tunisia, Algeria, Oman, even Laos are experiencing riots and protests due to soaring food prices. He says, as Ms. Abison, chief economist at the UN's Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, put it, we are entering a dangerous territory. And there you go. There's QE2 announced, and then QE Lite announced. And finishing up here, it says, as you can see, it wasn't until the Fed announced its QE Lite program that agricultural commodities exploded above long-term resistance. And in case there was any doubt, QE2 sent them absolutely stratospheric. So there you go. Home mortgage rates were steady. This is from the 21st of January. Reports indicating that inflation remains tame kept home mortgage rates relatively steady this week. Freddie Mac's chief economist said on Thursday rates on 30-year fixed-rate mortgages averaged a 4.7% for the week ended January 20th, up from 4.71% last week, according to Freddie Mac's weekly survey of conforming mortgages. The mortgage averaged 4.99% a year ago. I'm going to keep moving forward here, and next one up is about jobs and the unemployment rate. Exclusive, over 1 million immigrants land U.S. jobs in 2008 and 2010. It says here, over the past 2 years, as U.S. unemployment remained near double-digit levels and the economy shed jobs in the wake of the financial crisis or hijacking of our economy, over 1 million foreign-born arrivals to America found work, many illegally. And all I want to say about this is that I'm not mad at these people. I'm not angry at them. You know, they used to be very, you know, noble, brave Aztec and Mayans and Incas people, and, you know, it sucks. They're losing their pride just like all of us that, you know, don't have jobs. So I don't blame them for, you know, taking the jobs. They're taking the jobs that, quote, nobody wants, that Americans don't want. But unfortunately, that's not the situation. I would love to take a job that they would take, but unfortunately, I'm a citizen, so I can't bargain for my wage. I can't negotiate my own wage. See? That's what the real problem is, guys. That's how you end the conversation with somebody about this. That's why you just smash right through the whole left-right thing. It has nothing to do with it. It just, you know, I'm not mad at these people. I know why they're doing it, and that's how they're getting it, because they're not citizens. They're able to negotiate their wages. I'm not. So it just kind of sucks. You know, I'd be willing to work for less, but I can't. So, and because, you know, my employer would get fired. So they're just filling that gap. It's not because Americans don't want the jobs. It's because they'll go to jail if they take them. IMF warns about Arab world joblessness. The IMF has warned that high unemployment rate is an increasingly urgent challenge for the Arab world. So it says, we do see economic pressure building in the region, says IMF spokesman. I'm going to move on here. And actually, we're going to come back to this in part 2, and it's 12 economic collapse scenarios that we could potentially see in 2011. And we'll just do the first one. U.S. debt could become a massive crisis at any moment. China is saying all the right things at the moment, but many analysts are openly worried about what could happen if China suddenly decides to start dumping all the U.S. debt it has accumulated. So you can join us in part 2 of this economic news bulletin. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.